is true success really tied down to how much money a man makes?
My mother, what is important to her is that I am alive and well, because that's how she knows her grandchildren will be fine. How I arrive to see her on Sunday is irrelevant.
We all have different views of what we term success as. And I think most of these stereotypes are actually perpetuated by the man himself.
I say we are struck in a line between you. That's YOLO, you only live once. So whatever I have today, I don't know about tomorrow. Tomorrow will be better for tomorrow.
Hi, and welcome to this podcast series, The Conversation We Don't Have Enough, powered by KCB Bank, Uganda. And in this series, we're going to discuss quite a few things surrounding money and our lives. And in the first episode, we want to discuss men and money. Why men and money? Because November is the month which is dedicated worldwide now towards men's mental health awareness. It started more than 20 years ago. A couple of guys sat there and thought they would do mustaches and to highlight issues of men, especially prostate cancer and then depression. But gradually the world has awakened to the reality that men's mental health needs to be equally focused on, as well as focus is put on other areas of life, including women and children. So this is the context in which we are discussing. And again, this is powered by KCB Bank, Uganda, not only delivering cash or support, loans and credit to you, no, beyond that, giving you more value as we find out. And I would like to introduce my panel today, who are going to have take us along with the discussion. And let me start with my immediate left, and then we'll go that way. Let me start with you, sir. Introduce yourself and what you do at KCB Bank, Uganda.
Yes, so my name is Bruno Muhindi. I'd like to introduce myself from what I do. So I am a full-time husband. Yes, full-time husband, no part-time. But at KCB Bank, I work as the head of finance of the institution.
I am a full-time daughter and sister. At KCB Bank, I am the digital and PR manager.
I'm a full-time husband and I'm also a credit officer at KCB Bank, Uganda.
It's interesting. We have two husbands and a daughter, probably a wife to be. We'll explore those things as we go. Let's take the first issue in this Men and Money series, the first one in our podcast series powered by KCB Bank, Uganda. Let me start with Bruno. Money makes or breaks men. It's assumed. The pressure to provide for our families is expected by society, and we might be measured that way. So the issue of provision is powered by money, and this is our responsibility as we saw our fathers do it, and they appear to get it right. Let me start with you, bro. Did our fathers get it right all the time?
I don't think our fathers or our forefathers got it right. It looks like they got it right.
That's the impression I had.
No. They look like they got it right, but I think what they could have achieved is that they understood what provision is. And I think for us, we have boiled down provision to just the concept of money, which is the cash in my wallet. And I think provision from a man's point of view is deeper than that.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have to provide, there's the emotional provision for the home, of course, the madam and the children. There is also the protective provision, very many provisions depending on how you then define it. It's just that now we have boiled it down to money, and I think that's where the pressure is coming from. So I think it just starts with us understanding what the provision is. First of all, you as a man, understanding what that provision is, and also understanding what provision does your family require, and then you then sit and say, how do I then collaboratively with the family be able to deliver this kind of provision? Of course, everything this world is about money, but I think it just boils down to the values that you hold and how you're then able to satisfy that aspect.
We'll come back to that point, Bruno. Let me go to Blaise. Blaise, did Dad get it right all the time? From where you see?
As a daughter?
Yes.
Yes, so for me, my answer for that would be yes and no. For the yes, he got it right in a way that we never lacked a single day in our lives. Fees was always paid in time.
Yeah.
We were shopped for, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So we never lacked. So he got it right.
So the measure of you got your shopping tick.
Tick.
Okay. What's the
Yes, and for the no,
Yeah.
I think because of how he was raised, because of his background,
Yeah.
he tried so much to make sure we kind of are brought up in the same kind of way, not factoring in that generations have now changed,
Yes.
maybe prices have now changed of things. So for that, he kind of kept us behind in that aspect. And I know it's a mindset thing, it's how he was brought up, but then he also brought us up in the same way,
Okay.
and that also influenced our money habits.
Before we came to the set, you told me that he said all the time, I don't have money. Did that really mean that he got it right in terms of money?
No, so because he said that all the time,
Yeah.
we weren't always sure. So we still always expected him to provide, and because he always still did. So when he'd say, can I please have this? No, I don't have money. But then it would come through. Yes.
So he got it right.
He got it right.
Francis,
Yes.
Muse, he got it right from where you sit in terms of money. All the time.
In terms of money, he used to say, "Got it right." He used to provide like what let's say.
Yeah.
He never used to tell me that I don't. He rarely told us I don't have money, especially me being the first born.
Yeah.
He rarely told me I don't have money because he took me to the business schools at that time. He bought me a bicycle at that time. He bought me everything that I needed as a young boy.
He ticked the boxes.
He ticked all the boxes.
Yeah.
But I knew maybe on the other side he was trying. But I didn't. He never showed me that part any time. So every day was.
I'm staying with you. And in line with what Blessa said, Mose says, I don't have money. Is there a day when I don't have money also for you? You sensed that this time around is not the rhetoric, it's for you.
Yeah. There are days I sensed that they didn't have money. Especially when he came back with a different face, you could tell that to them say because you see when he has money, you tell him say let me push you here, let's go to the supermarket. When he comes back with money, you go to the supermarket.
He's happy.
Yeah. But when he doesn't have money, you just look at the face and you know things are not right today. So just give him whatever he wants and step back.
Thank you. And if you're watching us here, that's the point we're saying. The men, like they have just told us, the panel, our dads, the older generation, struggled with these things, but they always wanted to put on the face that everything is in control. Let me come back to you, Bruno. From where you sit now as KCB Bank, we have heard of that mindset. What kind of financial literacy if you like, or anything else you want from the KCB standpoint, to men inheriting that pressure and always saying, I want you to put on the facade of everything is okay?
I think it's from a KCB point of view, and I think it's just largely the life point of view. If you look at our fathers, just borrowed from the previous discussion, our fathers were largely operating, now where we're seated, from an ignorant point of view.
Okay.
Of course, I don't mean that in a bad way, because I'm sure my son, years down the road,
We have qualified it.
he said that he didn't know what he was saying.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things we're doing as an institution is just to be able to get rid of that ignorance through our financial literacy sessions that we are holding. And I encourage people to just come and participate in that. We're doing something for our small SME businesses, our women-led businesses, and some of our customers up country and here, just for you to be able to kind of open up the mind to just show you that this is what it is, this is what money means, these are the opportunities that are there for this discussion, these are the risks that that kind of pressure carries, and then just help you on that journey to be able to ensure that you're able to live at least fulfilled and successful as a man.
I love the thing you're saying about financial literacy, because it all sounds financial literacy. It sounds like going back to school or something, but it's just basically navigating life's and business things you have to do. The bank sharing things you ought to know, but you may not be able to know them.
Yes.
Very interesting. Yes.
Basically, just the life skills that you need to be able to deal with that. So if you just look at how we are brought up, we are taught certain skills that we're applying now. If you look at when we go to church or the mosque, the religious leaders, we are learning certain things that we are applying. So it's just seeing that gap that we have now, which is that in financial literacy. And if you look through, there's really no place or avenue where that is taking place. Yeah, we have some of our partners that have been able to achieve that, but just widening that base. And that's why we are participating in that as an institution to just be able to close that gap.
Looking forward to that, and that's why the bank is also putting forth time to discuss this unlikely issue for a bank to discuss, men and money, because they care about life. We want to move on to another point, a question, and let me come to Bruno, fresh husband. Not Bruno, sorry, Francis.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Francis. Is it possible for money and men not to be entangled? I hope you understand that. So that money becomes an instrument to do things and does not become life itself. In other words, can men stand apart from money and doesn't identify them? Is it possible?
According to where I'm coming from and to my perspective, I think it's not possible. Because as a man, to make certain decisions, yes, you need some element of money.
Yeah.
You need to come up. You need to have money. Because you see, the way we see money is the way I see money as a man. It would be in a way of I have to, in order to make a certain decision, I guess it has to be backed up. Because I see, if I'm to do a decision at home, my wife will say, okay, now you've said, yeah, we're going to do this. Let's buy land. So what next?
Where's the money?
Where's the money? Where's the money? You know. So I feel it's men and money. They cannot be this.
So, Francis, you mean that if you don't have, and we're not saying not having money,
Yeah.
but not having enough money from your standpoint, you are less of a man?
I'll put it in consideration.
Bless. Are you going to rate the guy from the size of his wallet?
No, I'm not going to do that. And I think most of these stereotypes are actually perpetuated by the man himself, as you've heard Francis say here, that you're less of a man if you do not have money. So they approach you from that point of view, but I'm not going to rate you like that, because I think there are more important things like character, because there are men who have so much money but then lack character. So I think unless we debunk some of these stereotypes that men themselves perpetuate and they feel more powerful, more important if they have more money, then we are going to keep in this cycle.
So, Bless, you are saying that if a man, in their view, they have a lot of money, they may not be that necessarily very important from the woman's standpoint?
No, not necessarily, because it depends on the woman you're approaching. So if her standpoint is strictly she's looking for someone with money, definitely you're going to be so very important to her. But if you approach me with a lot of money, I don't think you're more important because you have a lot of money.
Okay. Bruno, you've heard the younger people say, can we live without being entangled with money? Francis says, so it's not possible.
I think it comes down to the how you define money, and for me, I like to define money as a store of value. Yeah. So if it is storing value, then what are my values that I need to unlock using the money, either little or medium or a lot, depending on how someone is assessing it. So if you look at money as a tool that is going to make you someone, then I think that you're beginning to get problems, because money will never be enough and it will always change. I think it's, for us men, I think it's just to start to appreciate what are those values that I hold dear, and how do the resources I have at my disposal help me unlock that value. If I can use myself, I think one of the things I value the most is peace of mind. Peace of mind looks abstract until you actually don't have it. Then you realize that it's a good thing. So then I ask myself, how do I then achieve that peace for myself and my family through the resources that I have? And I think money is not really what defines a man. I mean, in my village, you find people who will say don't have a lot of money, but their families are happy. It's there emotionally, provides for the wife, and the family is happy to that extent. Are they going to the schools you want to go to? It's all relative. And then you come to the city where we are earning what we are earning, and you find families are not happy, yet all the money is there. So I think for men, it's just what are your values? Money is a store of value, and then how do they move through life? Yeah.
Bruno, that sounds now rational, but at emotional level, and us being judged by society, in Uganda they say "Musajja mojo." How do we overcome those realities bombarding us and forcing us to be entangled? To apply what you're saying, but realistically, like, I'm thinking about it, but how do I deal with the social external pressure that causes me mental health challenges, actually?
Yes, but what is the external pressure?
People.
Your workmates.
Echika, the clan.
Yeah, so you see, I think what you first of all have to understand what's important in life. And one of the things that I do, I used to do now, I don't do anymore, is I used to walk through a cemetery. Yeah, a cemetery where we bury people.
Yes.
Yeah, so first of all, people don't disturb you because they see you there, but also at the same time, it helps you to reflect.
Calm down.
Yeah, so you're looking at the gravestones. Here lies the father, a mother, a brother, a sister. And those are the important people. That's why they're written on that gravestone. Rarely do you find that here lies, he's missed by the Gomorrah, he's missed by his 10 cows and all that. So I think for us men, it's just to sit and ask ourselves, who are those important people? Because people always talk. Yeah? If you stand, you're blocking the sun. If you sit, the sun is hitting us. So the people are always talking. So it's you just understand who are those, that small group of people that I value, and to what extent do they understand my situation, and then how do I also understand their dreams, and then we come together and then see how we can progress through life.
Shielding myself against the external pressure consciously.
Cautiously, yes. You have to, because that's it. Everyone is always saying something. Right from the day you are born, or the day you're conceived, there's pressure of which hospital shall we give birth in. Yeah, so even before you are born, up to the day you die, which coffin are we going to bury in? So there's always pressure from that point to that point. So it's just you taking this. And frankly, meeting, people don't care. People look like they care.
At the end of the day.
But they actually don't care. May I come from weddings where I'm asked what was the color film? And I was there for 2 hours and I cannot tell what the film was, because the lady was in white, the guy was in black. And yet someone sat down and invested time and resources in thinning so that people like Bruno can appreciate. But we come late, we sit, we start our conversations behind there, and
we eat food and go away.
And go away. So you've done all that, but at the end of the day, the person who've done it before does not appreciate or doesn't care. So it's just you, just repeating, understanding who are those important people in my circle, open up to them, they open up to you, and then see how you then move through life.
Limit who influences you.
Yes.
Bless, I'm coming back to you on this point. Following your earlier comment on the same issue, are men entangled with money? Based on your value system, if you meet a guy, maybe your workmate, schoolmate, or the man will marry you, and they're worked up with money. They're saying, honey, I can't take you out today because I'm not okay. How do you assure them, as a woman, that, hey, look, I know you have to be responsible, but, relax. Can you do that, or what? I'm asking too much.
No, you are not asking for too much. So if this is someone I plan to build something with, or I have a relationship with, then I will definitely assure them, because I see the pressures that men face with money, but I would not rather be with someone who is stealing so that we can go to an expensive restaurant, because it will still end in embarrassment for one or both of us. My reputation really is something I really, really, really value. So I need men to understand that it's okay, but also if you're with someone you can't ably tell that you're not doing financially well, then maybe you need to sit back and think twice. Like, is this someone I'm going to actually build something with? Because if you end up with such a person, then you're going to build your life on debt, because you're constantly in a cycle of trying to please that person. Yes, so definitely me, I'll be able to tell him, I'm like, you know what, it's okay, it's not a do or die, and we can always go out when things are more stable.
Absolutely, thank you. Speaking from a man's standpoint, we need help sometimes. We need the sympathy of the women who are significant in our lives, and what they say actually might complicate this entanglement or not. I speak a little bit from experience as a married person. stuff is stuff, and you go back and she says, honey, will be okay. That's what you need. And for our mental health, men, our wives, and even our kids sometimes, the grown-ups, the teenagers, it's very important to assure us that, look, the world is not coming to an end because something has not happened. Absolutely. Before we move to the next point, Francis, you had the submissions against yours.
Yeah.
Have you changed your mind?
Yeah. Actually, from what Bruno said, actually it made me borrow something from his. People always say, like he said, and actually that thing of walking through the cemetery, it really walked into my mind.
Yeah.
Like you see, it's at the end of the day, it's your family that matters most. So I think I'll change my perspective. By the end of the show, I will have changed my perspective on money.
Okay.
Hopefully, I will do that. But it's really I'm buying something from them.
Interesting things we had there from the first two areas we discussed, men being entangled and with money, and also whether our fathers got it right all the time. We'll move on to the third aspect of this podcast, which is men and money. And we want to appreciate KCB Bank Uganda again for not only providing us financial support and intermediation to make business and do other things that are important, but also they care about men. November is the month for men's mental health awareness. So the world has woken up to the fact that also men need to be taken care of. As we know, it started in about over 20 years ago when some guys came up and for them it was mustache and focused on prostate cancer and depression. But it has gone bigger now. So the world remembers and celebrates it if you like, that also men need to be taken care of in terms of mental health. And if you speak about mental health for men, more women try to commit suicide, but more men succeed. In other words, less men try suicide, but of those less, a good number of them do carry it out. While the women more try, but they think about it or they change their minds, meaning that it shows vulnerability. And all these men who commit suicide belong to families, their fathers, their brothers, their, somebody's workmate and so on. And so generally the world coming up to focus on this issue is commendable. And KCB Bank Uganda joins the rest of the world in making sure that men, your mental health is equally important. And now the third issue, is true success really tied down to how much money a man makes or the man has? I'm coming to you, Francis, first. Do you measure yourself or your friends in terms of being successful based on how much the bank account holds?
I would say to a great extent, yes. Because you see, if we our generation, the way we view money is, can this money give me, can it help me grow myself personally? Can I use my money to maybe help others, travel, do all those things? So if I have a billion in my account, if my friend has a billion in their account, I would say I'll term them as rich. Okay, because by the time they made this money, maybe they did something that really helped.
Are they successful?
Being successful, yes, because when they use this, when they have this money, because they are doing something that is keeping them maybe a job or at whatever thing they are doing, whatever job they are doing, I'll tell them as successful. Yeah.
Grace, size on the accounts equals success. Discuss.
I oppose this motion.
Okay. Please oppose.
My rationale for this is I do not think the size of your bank account determines your success, but I would like to add a disclaimer.
Yes.
We all have different views of what we term success as. For some people, success is having that much money, so they would rather lack sleep, have no peace of mind, but have 1 billion on their account. They are successful, and also because the world generally views that as success. But for me, I believe that success is different things to different people. For me, success is peace of mind. To another person, success is having a good job or getting that promotion. They'll count themselves as successful. So from where you sit, you may not think I'm successful, but I may know for sure that I'm successful because my family is at home, happy and well fed. Yes.
Very good. Bruno, barely that we're discussing men's mental health. And as Grace has said, the world says success is big account. How do we handle the issue of success vis-a-vis the reality? There are few guys who will have billion on their accounts, but most people don't. So how would success to be tackled, therefore, in the space, in that reality?
I think, first of all, success is personal. Yeah, that's why you had asked him, how do you measure would you measure your friends as successful if they had X? Success is personal to the point that you don't know what is driving that person. So I believe success is personal. Now that it is personal, I come to the I. What are those things in life that at a certain point, because we're all growing, we're 20, we're 30, we're 40, and at a certain point we shall be 90 if God blesses us. What is that thing at point X that I will look at and say that I have been a successful person, regardless of what my neighbor or my brother or any other person says. So success is personal. So I think for the men, you start from there. What are those things? And we need to do a deeper dive than just going on top and saying my child went to this kind of school, my child is holding this kind of gadgets, we stay in this kind of area, we have this kind of house. Just go deeper and say, if my 90-year-old self or 80-year-old self look back, would they say thank you to my 30-year-old or 40-year-old self? And what are those things they will be looking at to be able to say thank you? So success is relative, like Bless has said. For some people, success is about the amount of money on their account. What does that mean? So if I look at my bank balance and it's 1 billion, do I have a certain satisfaction? Yes, so success is relative. In my village there, I know of herdsmen who you meet their families and you clearly see, you kind of have an envy despite the fact that you're almost 10 times or 20 times above where they are. But he's able to sit with his wife, the wife welcomes him, the children are running around, and you know how much that person earns. And yet for you who seems, and this is just an example, and yet for you who seems to have everything based on the other side of the lens, you seem to yearn for that.
So there's an internal... something not satisfied internally.
Not satisfied internally. So we start by identifying what success is individual, may I believe success is individual, and then from there you then move to what are those things I need to do to ensure that my 90-year-old self or 80-year-old self, when they look back, they will say thank you to my 30, 20 or 40-year-old self.
Very interesting. And the reason why this comes up as a question under our men and money is because the definition of success, even at a personal level, can enlist or generate mental health situations. Stress. You might find that somebody earns a certain salary, and they are okay from the standpoint of a third person. But for them, they don't feel okay because their eyes are cast on maybe their peers. And that generates pressure and unhappiness. So Francis, coming back to you. Seeing, yes, and it seems all of you agree that it is at a personal level, at a personal viewpoint. What are we going to do for those people who measure success not necessarily from their personal lens, but with comparison? Because peers are very important. Francis, if you met your buddies and they're going to be watching this podcast and thinking, what are you going to tell them?
Well,
it's supposed to be personal, but
like you said it basically, and that's the reality of life. Yes, success is personal, but I mean, if I see my peers are doing well, because let me say, I have peers, they're 28 and they're driving a very expensive car. I mean, realistically, I would really want to be like them. I don't know what they're doing to drive that, but they may not disclose what they're doing at that time. But I'm seeing them like they're running around with them. Like they have everything that I have, and I would entail as a personal thing. Peace of mind, they have peace of mind. They have money. we have one. So I'll really tell them, you know what, teach me children, I'll join you.
That's one perspective.
Yeah.
Bless. Let's take Francis scenario. My friend is driving an ML. Me, I'm driving a parcel. I'm okay. I'm living in an apartment somewhere, maybe in Chira. Okay, they're living in an apartment in Chira, but also maybe a better apartment. I'm okay. I'm getting stressed. I'm okay. What do you think? What would you tell your friend in order to arrest that unrealistic aspiration? What do you think? Here, people are going to watch and say they're going to take you word for it. Yeah. What would you say?
Interestingly, your example is oddly specific.
you can tell that.
Yes, no, I'm saying it's oddly specific because I drive a Vitz.
Yes.
I have friends who have MLs, they have same age, same school, but we're just on different paths in life. And one thing I've come to learn and appreciate over the years is contentment and the fact that we have different journeys. And I'm not less of a person because at the end of the day, both of us have means to and from where we are going.
Yeah.
Yes, and to understand that we have different journeys. Some of these people, they are on different career paths. Some of them are not in the conventional formal sector jobs. Some of them have inheritance. So there are different backgrounds. So I don't think someone should put themselves on pressure or get stressed to try and aspire towards their peers. Peers are important, but if they're just inspiring you, yes. If they are putting you on pressure to be like them, that will be a problem.
Okay. Where did you learn that? That thing.
Contentment?
How did you achieve that? Because some people are going to be saying, like Francis there saying,
because I just to add
let her finish. Okay, Francis, hold.
So how I learned it is one, my upbringing. My parents brought us up like that. And my father always taught, just because you see that money is there does not mean you will have it. And he used to tell us, me, I have my cars because I've made my money. So he used to tell us, work hard, make your money, and you also be able to get your own. Yes, and he took us to the best schools. And one lesson was, you see, you're going to find people in those schools and they are much, much richer than you, and that was for sure. But learn to be content with what you have.
Finish, please. So
yes, and because of that environment that I was brought up in, one, my parents continuously reminded us to be content with what we had, and because we were provided for. And also the communities and the friends I've made along the way have taught me this.
I like that. The mental health resilience starts from home. So if you're watching again this podcast, remember that not only about you, but remember that even when you have a family, the values that you instill are going to be able to build the resilient men and women of tomorrow in as far as money is concerned. But Francis, I cut you short, you're saying something.
Yeah, I was trying to show, and also this is a disclaimer also, me, I hope everything was okay, mental health, all that, like the way she mentioned it. But you know, if you read the Bible, we have the penny and the Hannah story.
Yes.
You know, there's a book called The Good Penny now.
Yes.
There's a person who really pushes you in a bad way, but to achieve something. So we may have those peers who might not necessarily tell you go and steal and buy an ML, but they try and show you know what's up. You have it is, but you can't. You can be better. Like if you do ABCD, you can maybe go and come. You can come and reach us who are in the ML. So they are good pennies in life. Yes, as we try to be contented, like blessing, but they are the good pennies who can push you.
Even as they push you, how do you, Francis, how do you not let yourself get sick?
That's the challenge.
Okay, let me escape to Bruno. How do people not get sick while they're being inspired by their peers? What's your take?
I think it starts with you, the individual. What are you measuring? What is important to you? Yeah. So using this example of the ML and all the other cards, you see, if I'm see, if I'm just like my mother, what is important to her is that I am alive and well, because that's how she knows her grandchildren will be fine. How I arrive to see her on Sunday is irrelevant. So whether I use a border or I use a chopper, at the end of the day when she sees me, I have come and I am okay based on the last time she saw me. That means by extension, her grandchildren will be fine. So you will not find her sitting you down to say, but when you're coming here, the neighbors are saying that I did not educate my son. No, you see, yes, I want to believe, not believe, but I think there are certain places where how you arrive determines how you're welcomed in the home. So it is that thing. So once you then understand what is important to me and what I'm measuring, then you're able to know who are the positive influences in your life and who are the negatives. So that you're able to go and look at that person and say, I think I have seen Francis. I want to learn how he has achieved this thing, this peace of mind, this happy family, so that I pick that lesson. If along the way I end up staying at a certain area or driving a certain thing, well and good, but at least I would have achieved something, because I see it from my dad's generation. So they were traders, they did what they did, they got the money that they got, they went and invested in the village. But we're here. Some of us travel to the village to see our parents every Christmas or so often. There are other people in the village and their children don't go to see them. Yet they had the so-called measures of success, the nice cars, the staying in Muyenga Bunga, traveling, whatever. But so you go and meet these two men and you can clearly see the person who's happy because my children are coming, they're bringing their grandchildren, and then you can see someone who's clearly sad of there's nothing, meaning that they're measuring the wrong thing. But they equally have big houses, still whatever acreage that people consider success. But you can see that in their 60s, 70s, 80s, you can see someone who's genuinely happy, and then you can see someone who's sad. And it's not a money issue, it is now that emptiness in there. So that's why for me, it's that thing. It comes down to the individual, what are the values, and then structuring yourself to make sure that, and I always say, my older self must look back, like now when I look back in my 20s, I'm actually grateful for that person who made certain choices at that age. They looked stressful, they looked like they were out of line, they were not conforming to society expectations, but I'm grateful that that 25-year, 26-year-old made those choices, because now where I am benefiting from those choices that person has made, and I'm making certain choices now, which I hope my 55-year-old will not curse when they look backwards.
I'm staying with you, Bruno. KCB Bank has many years of staying around, which means certain things were done right many times. You meet people who come to the bank in your financial literacy. If they put you aside and say something like this, what we're discussing here, what would you tell them from where you sit? With KCB in mind.
I think okay, it all starts with having a conversation, and understanding, because you can't just walk up to someone and say, this is what I want you to do.
They have come to you actually.
Yes. So I think it starts with us, and also someone walking up to you is already an internal, there's something in them that has told them I need help.
And they trust you.
So I think it would start with us sitting down to try and understand, and I think we just refer them to our financial literacy sessions, to just then see. And in those sessions we normally have the experts in that area. So I'm not an expert in agriculture or whatever it is, so we always have experts behind these sessions, all the way to almost even counseling, therapy, if you can call it that. So we're able to then sit with you, understand, and then attach you to that particular partner, and then walk with you that journey to just make sure that we're able to deal with whatever challenges you have as an individual.
I'm very glad that you don't only lend and do it financial intermediation, but if you need support in that specific things, you will get help. We are taking our final question. How generation Gen Z, I like to say generation Z, but I think the cool thing is Gen Z. How Gen Zs view money? Do they view it the way our fathers did? Probably not. Bless, what changed? Dad and you. Are you looking at money like that? Yeah, you can say yes, by the way.
No, I think me and my dad have been exposed to different environments, different resources as we grow. So, for example, I work in a bank. I know different ways I can handle my money. I know how I can invest the money for it to work for me. I know how to save. I'm not going by the book of earn 100%, save 50. That I don't do that. No, but I'm able to sit down at the end of every month and allocate my money. Also, I've seen the way my generation looks at money. I worry a bit, but I see that people do not really prioritize saving as much as our fathers did. So because for the older generation, I see that for them they had savings, they were ready for the rainy days, so to call them. But for us, you find that there is nothing put aside for the rainy days, so people end up
grassing.
Exactly, grassing.
Okay.
Yes, so they are borrowing for every emergency, and then there'll be another emergency. So sometimes you find that people have a big network of people who demand them money, but they're not saving anything. So when the salary comes, it all goes to different places where they're being demanded. So that's the difference I see. I see the older generation definitely had a way of handling money better and of handling the pressures that come. But for our generation, we are more easily swayed by the pressures of, oh, my friend has that car, I also want that car. I will get it whether I have to borrow. Yeah.
Absolutely. Francis, you're Gen Z also. How are you handling money? Why are you not like your dad?
I know, it's because like this I say, we have different aspects of how we see money. And that's maybe used to see maybe a person who has money is having acres of land, all those things. But now our generation has come to a point where we see money as can I travel everywhere in the world?
For the experience.
Yeah, can I travel anywhere in the world? Can I have expensive clothing? Can I have an expensive car? So I'm not like my dad because this is the trait that we Gen Zs are really looking at, and it's like Bessa said, we are struck in a line between that YOLO, you only live once. So whatever I have today, I don't know about tomorrow. Tomorrow will cater for tomorrow.
But how about if tomorrow comes? You will see.
Yeah, we shall. Basically, that's what I can say. Not basically me, but that's what
I get it. I get what you
yeah, but that's the challenge. And now us, it might be worse. And for the generation that is coming, the Gen Alpha, it's worse.
Bruno, I'm going to have the last word on this one. If tomorrow comes, we will see. What's your take?
And I think that's the disaster. we are seated on, but as a country, we are seated. You just need to go to the NSSF website. I think they have a transparency statement, and then look at the number of savers. So then you can look at the voters registered and superimpose how many people. So for you to predict how many people will have a secure financial future at a certain point X. But for me, my advice to the Gen Z is because they are now the new parents.
Yes.
They need to, because each generation is a reflection of what the generation that raised them held dear. Yeah. So our fathers, it was I think the generation for those our grandfathers and great grandfathers. So there are certain things they held dear, which now you see in our parents' generation. As the next group, you're seeing what our parents held dear. So when you look at the Gen Zs, it's actually a reflection of the group that raised them. What are those values that were impacted? So for me, the Gen Zs, I don't know if the train has left the station, but in case it has, I think for me what I would tell them is just think through, because now you have the experience.
Yes.
And just
KCB is helping.
And then just see what kind of values you pass on to your children. But in terms of tomorrow shall survive, let me tell you, the only person who cares for you, the only person who cares, and tomorrow I'm going to use it in terms of age, the only person who cares about the 40-year-old you or the 50-year-old you is you now. Not the you yesterday because you made the decisions that you made, the you now. So this thing of saying, we shall see when we get there, your 40-year-old self, 50-year, 70, God blesses you up to 100, is going to have a lot of regrets because you're losing time. So either save money or I don't know how you do it. There are very many ways of securing your future. But what you just need to I tell the Gen Zs is that you need to up your game. Otherwise, years are moving very fast. Before you know it, the Gen Zs will be the 50-year-olds, and you'll have a massive problem on your hands.
So,
and then,
YOLO does not work. You only live once.
you see,
It's a fact.
it is. Yes, you only live once, but you cannot live once recklessly. You see, because what's the point of and by the most of these things that we look at and say, I am having a blast. When you reach at point X and you look back, some people have regrets.
There is no pleasure.
Yeah, you saying I should have done, and for everything that you do, you say no to something. So I should have done something with my life at that point X, but you did not do it, and now you're seated here where you're having regrets. I mean, you can hear the stories of people changing their birth certificates. That just shows you that someone has just realized, I have a problem, but the time has gone away.
Okay. Thank you so much, Bruno and Blaise and Francis, for taking us through a real experiential discussion. We were discussing men and money. We had Blaise here to temper things, give us a certain dimension, because ladies are the only other people, and they are there in our lives, wherever we go, at work, at school, in our families. We hope when you're going to enjoy yourself, or you have enjoyed listening to us. And from KCB Bank Uganda, which is powering this podcast series, which is, let me just get that right, the conversation we don't have enough. As you can see, we have to do just a little bit, because we can't have enough of it. But we hope, as you listened, you got some points to take home. And if you're Gen Z especially, quite a few points to take home. No biases here. Decisions are yours. How you deal with your money, how you deal with the future. But it's important that you take some advice so that all is well ahead. From me, your host, Samuel Setumba. Bye.